Hi, welcome to the channel. Let's go to today's story. My cousin, who is 24 years old and the first woman in the family, made a false accusation against me. This happened in 2014, when I was 22 years old, and she accused a 31-year-old man, namely me, of a terrible crime. Now my family is getting closer again after nearly a decade apart. I'm feeling completely at a loss as to how to handle this situation. This whole situation is reopening old wounds and fueling the anger that was dormant. Let me share a little background on my story. I grew up in what appeared to be an ordinary family, where my parents worked a lot but still took care of me and my 3 older sisters. While we were never extremely close as a family, we never had any major problems either. The same was true of my extended family, even though they lived a few hours away. We saw each other over the summer and Christmas holidays, and our meetings were always pleasant. As we got older, we naturally drifted apart, as we each had our own lives. Now, at the age of 31, I am dealing with this situation that left me at a loss from the beginning. It all started with a phone call from my mom in 2014 when I was in college. I remember being hesitant to pick up because I was busy with friends, but she immediately called back, following an unwritten family rule that a second call was important. I picked it up and noticed there was chaos on the other end, with people arguing. My mom looked distressed, and after calming me down, she started accusing me of raping my cousin Eve when we were kids. At the time, Eve was 15 and I was 22. I was stunned and couldn't believe what I was hearing. My mother went on to describe the details of the accusation, claiming that Eve had told her and my sister about it when she was only 9 years old and I was 16. I was shocked by the seriousness of the accusation and vehemently denied it. I remember saying it was a lie and that Eve was making it all up. My mom continued to question, detailing the description of what Eve claimed happened. I was put on speakerphone, and my mom and dad said they didn't want to have any more contact with me. 2 of my sisters messaged me, calling me gross and blocking me. After that call, I went into a state of confusion and shock. The next few weeks were blurry, and my focus waned, especially as I was about to complete my bachelor's thesis. The following year was marked by anxiety, fear of being arrested for a crime I didn't commit, and difficulties in getting a job. My life was on hold as I expected the police to show up at any moment. I couldn't concentrate and ended up drinking too much, which led to resentful and violent behavior. Fortunately, I got a job in 2015 and started to settle down. My dedication to work helped me to gradually return to normality. Recovery was slow, but I was able to reduce my alcohol consumption and stay sober for 4 years. However, the emotional impact persisted, and the trust one had in people all but disappeared. Despite all these challenges, I landed a meaningful job in my field in 2015. Things started to look up from that point on. I focused intensely on my work, which gave me a sense of normalcy. My recovery was gradual, and although I still struggled with my dark feelings, I was able to smile more. I adapted to a more thrifty life and also had the joy of buying special gifts for myself on occasions like my birthday. Last year, I fulfilled an old dream and bought a house with a garage and garden. My life has improved significantly, but I still deal with emotional challenges, including needing antidepressants to quell dark thoughts. This journey made me realize how much this false accusation has shaken my life and my trust in people. I'm still struggling to find a balance between emotional recovery and regaining trust in other people. I tried to get romantically involved, but I only had the opportunity to go on 2 dates with 2 different women. It's quite challenging to express myself as an ordinary person when it comes to this. When a potential partner asks me about my family, I'm not sure what to say. The situation with them is complex, serious accusations were made against me, and our communication was interrupted. However, I am not denying the facts. I admit that my environment is predominantly male, and the only woman I share openly with is my therapist, whom I value very much. I apologize if this text was difficult to understand. Expressing myself clearly with words has never been my strong point, and sometimes I find myself rambling. I recently received a message from my mother who rocked my emotions. However, I was reluctant to open the message initially, just staring at the notification for hours before deciding to read it. Yesterday, another message arrived. The texts basically start with a greeting: "Hi Opie, it's been a while since we've talked. I miss you and would like to know how you're doing." She goes on to detail my sister's lives and how my nephews are growing up. I barely knew I was an uncle. She emphasizes that we as a family love her and always will. Then the second message arrives: "Hi Opie, we understand if you don't want to talk to us after what happened, but please listen. Last month, the subject of you was discussed at a family gathering. The past events. Finally, someone admitted that nothing really happened, and it was probably just a daydream. We are shocked by this revelation. We want to reconnect with you and your sisters. We want you to meet your cousins and cousins again. If you are willing, please respond. We beg your pardon, Mom and Dad. This is the current situation I am facing. Although I haven't responded yet, I'm aware that they realize I've read the messages. I confess that I am dealing with many painful past memories that have resurfaced. I'm currently torn as to what to do about them. On the one hand, I consider confronting them and expressing all my frustration built up over the years. On the other hand, I think about just ignoring them and moving on with my life. I am quite isolated, with no close friends other than co-workers with whom I have a distant relationship. My therapist is on vacation, so I'm temporarily without that guidance. This leaves me with little choice but to seek advice from strangers on the internet. I'm undecided on which way to go. Should I continue to ignore them and maintain the status quo, or should I respond? And if I choose to respond, what should I say? I welcome any guidance or advice. I recognize that I am not indebted to my family. I will carefully consider this and make a decision that is best for my future well-being. They both had an affection for you that seemed to depend on circumstances, resembling a faucet that is repeatedly turned on and off. This pattern had a negative impact. You mentioned having few friends and difficulties in relationships, a situation that probably would not have developed this way if not for the treatment you received. However, it's hard to see a solution to this through continuing to be connected with them. While it is possible for you to resolve these issues, it seems unlikely that they will be of much help in this process. It's unclear how interacting with your perfect sisters and family and the happy lives they've built, while you feel left out, would contribute positively. The impression that remains is that you've never faced treatment similar to what you went through, either for your lies or your actions. This underscores that her situation is unique and painful. None of her family members made an effort to stay in touch, even discreetly, which is surprising. At least some support could be expected if you were experiencing difficulties, indicating the failure of the traditional notion of family support. No matter how loud you scream or how angry you get, it doesn't seem like you'll achieve your goals with them. Breaking up abruptly may not be the best way to hurt them. Instead, explaining the impacts their actions had on you, as you did here, and establishing that you need time to heal, can be more effective. It is crucial to avoid any contact with Eva, direct or indirect. The focus here is that her lie demonstrates that she and her family have abandoned her, even if there is no evidence to support this. In the case of a breakup, it can be a long-term blessing not to be stuck with a partner who acts like a puppet, responding to outside influences. It is critical to ask yourself why you are so eager to get married so young and why you would choose someone who leaves so abruptly. I'm not in a hurry to get married, but I want a family that I'm not interested in, celebrating like most of this age. An abundance of activities are on offer between establishing a family and partying. One can pick up new hobbies, embark on therapy, explore travel and cultivate new friendships, as well as save resources or pursue academic training and professional advancement. Countless alternatives manifest themselves at the age of 21, opening horizons. There is the opportunity to have a family at any time, contrasted with revelries and adventures. Allow me to express my point of view in addition to previous commenters. The groom was already looking for a way out, possibly to avoid direct confrontation. Susan, perhaps because she didn't want to confront him, chose not to voice her opinion. He may be lying to justify the breakup, creating a more convenient excuse. Even if Susan did not agree with the separation, the relationship seems unfair and, in my opinion, was already coming to an end. Whether he really was lying or not, it's evident that he was pulling away, seeing as he hasn't kept in touch with you for weeks on end. This does not reflect someone willing to work things out or someone suitable for marriage. I wish you luck with marital counseling, although my suggestion is to question why you want to marry someone you can't trust. How will you deal if they have children and she keeps lying? Your intent to divorce is not purely based on a lie, possibly there is more at stake. There is reason to be suspicious of her version, as she is shown to be the liar in the frame, possibly manipulating the divorce proceedings to portray her fiancé as responsible for the separation. I recommend that, if possible, you contact him and get his side of the story. This woman may have pathological behavior, which is something I am also considering. Especially since this isn't the first time she's lied about me, as I've been told. And so, today's video comes to an end. Don't forget to turn on the notification bell. Leave your like and subscribe to the channel. Until the next video.